And we are live. Hello, everybody, and hello, Caitlin. Welcome to the
Hello.
Indie Author Live chat today.
Thank you for having me. I'm really excited to be here.
Oh, I am so excited. I know we talked a little bit before we went live just about how I've been following your books for a while. Honestly, before my books came out, you were one of the authors that I found on Instagram through somebody else
Oh,
doing something else.
yay.
But if you're watching and you have never heard of Caitlin, Caitlin is not only a horse lover, as you can see in the graphic, which we need to know more about. We need to know the horse's name, I guess.
Okay.
um, but also the author of the fantasy series, the She Awakens series. And right now there are 3 books, and there's a 4th one coming out,
Yes.
right?
Yes. Hopefully January, late January, I'm hoping.
Yay! Super excited. So, Caitlin, why don't you tell everybody who doesn't know who you are, sort of what you write, and a little bit about yourself?
I write young adult and new adult fantasy. It started out as young adult, but as the story progressed, it kind of my main character kind of did her own thing. And so now we're into a little more spicy new adult genre. Um which makes marketing kind of a challenge because we start off with young adult and then as the books go on, we go into a completely different genre. So
Right.
the story follows my main character, Atina. Um, she starts off just living her human life. She has a friend, her best friend, James. They hunt for her town's food supply. Um, and it follows her story as she figures out her past. She has a mother that she never knew anything about. She thought that she died when she was a baby. All she had was pictures of her. And some things happen. Zombies enter the picture because, Fae and zombies go together. And her life is kind of turned upside down.
Mhm.
And she finds out that she's not completely human, she's half Fae. And she's not just half Fae, she's the Fae King's granddaughter.
Wow.
Yeah. And
The
he's
Hidden Royals.
what?
The Hidden Royal,
Yes.
definitely.
Yes, definitely. Definitely. In chosen one tropes, she finds out that she's the one that's supposed to take down the evil Fae King, who's her grandfather.
No pressure.
No pressure. As she's trying to figure out all of her new powers that come to her, um, she finds a Fae, Alistair, who's super special, and I love him. I think he's my favorite character. Atina should be my favorite character because she's taken on a lot of my characteristics, but Alistair's definitely my favorite.
So, is there a Fae horse?
Yes, she has a Fae horse, so she has a talking horse, and like all the things that horses can do, they can run fast, all that. It's just exaggerated with Fae horses.
I
Um,
love that so much. I love the books that have like the animal characters
yeah.
who are like characters.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of the people that read my book love Raven the best. And I actually wrote her based off of one of my first horse actually. So her personality is the personality that I feel from my horse.
Aw,
Yeah.
that's so sweet. And then on top of the She Awakens series, you also have the anthology that you're a part
Yes.
of coming out, the Grimm Sisters Forbidden Fables, which
Yes.
I'm
Okay.
super excited about because
So
it's only 99 cents right now.
I know, I'm so excited. Um it's 6 stories from 6 different authors, and it's fairy tales, but twisted fairy tales. So we take 2 fairy tales and put them in one story. So like my fairy
Mm.
tales are the Frog Prince and Hansel and Gretel.
Oh,
Yeah.
so what inspired that matchup for you?
I didn't get to pick it. we all we all did the randomizer wheel.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
that kept it fair though.
Yeah. So the randomizer, the gods picked it. And at first I was not happy. I was like, how do I mesh these two together? But I did come up with something and everybody likes it so far. So here's to hoping.
So very excited because that's coming out really, really soon. That's like in
Yes.
August
No, it's coming out in,
or
I
not
think
August.
that it's coming out earlier than that. I know that we put that as the pre-order date, but we're hoping to get it out before then.
Okay. I'm like, wait a minute. I said August, but then I'm like, it's September now. I've gotta rethink.
I think that you're right, but I think it's 2023. I think it says that it's
Okay.
August 2023, but we're going to get it out before then.
Yay.
I
So
know.
you heard it here next. But definitely anytime I see an anthology by names that are like the ones in this set with you, there's some amazing authors in this set with you, Santana Knox and Violet Frost and um,
Kayla
Ben.
Maya is amazing. I
Yeah.
love all of her stuff. She's somebody that, like, her book comes out and I buy it. I don't
Yeah,
even
the
read what
auto
it's
buy
about. I just buy
authors.
it.
Oh, Montrez is on. Montrez says, "Hey, ladies, the Twisted Fairy Tale sounds amazing."
Oh, thank you.
So, how did you come about connecting with the anthology? Because that's something that I hear a lot of indie authors ask, especially new. Like, well, how do I get into a box set?
So there's actually, the way that I got in was Kayla Maya. She asked me if I wanted to be a part of it, and I heard about it, and I was like, yeah, I would love to do that. But I know that a lot of people, there's like a Facebook group that's with anthologies, and I think that they have like different groups based on your genre. Like they have like a romance one, a fantasy one, but I've never found one that I actually like connected with. Does that make sense? Like the stories never sounded like something that I wanted to write. This one I love. I love the idea.
And I'm sharing the link in the
Oh,
comments.
thank
So
you.
if you're watching on YouTube, you can click that there. If you're watching on Twitter, you'll have to hop on over to YouTube because the comments don't carry over there. But there's also a link in the description box, especially if you're watching the replay, that has a link to all of Caitlin's books.
Hey.
So you can click there and like follow her on social media and everything.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Oh, my pleasure. Melissa says, I am here for any twisted fairy tales. Yes.
Me too.
And so, one last question on the anthology, and then, I mean, unless you're watching, because we do these live in case anybody has questions, and then we'll move on. Has it been harder to write sort of the group project than doing your solo series, or has it just been different?
I feel like group projects always come with their own challenges,
Mm,
but I really love all these ladies. They're all so nice and they're so understanding. I came in kind of at the end. It was because somebody couldn't end up doing the anthology, so they kind of had to hustle and find somebody else. But
no pressure.
no pressure,
Again,
none at all. But it's been actually really great working with them. I've always been worried about doing like a any kind of group project writing because
mm-hmm,
I mean everybody's been to school, everybody's done group project before, they know what it's about. It's just I
mm-hmm.
didn't want to be that person that um does everything first and then she's waiting for everybody else. I feel like I'm that person this time around though. I'm the one that everybody's waiting for. I'm trying to finish my one series and then I get in on this anthology. I'm like, sorry guys, gotta give me like a month and then I'll start.
Well, whenever you come in sort of later in the game to anything, it's always a little bit of catch up there.
Yeah, really.
But yeah, that's really exciting and learning to balance too the
Well, it's so
box
hard.
set and the marketing for the box set and everything. Because if you're watching and you don't know, indie authors do all of that themselves. Like
Mm-hmm.
some of us may have personal assistants who help, but most of social media and all this stuff that you see is stuff we're doing, plus the writing, plus the editing. So, and then
Mm-hmm.
many of us work day jobs too. And of course, you
Marketing's
have
hard.
your beautiful horse and horses to take care of.
Yes.
So, how
Wait,
did you end up writing?
writing?
Yeah, how did you get into like the writing
So
and publishing?
I read a ton of books, a ton, like 80 books a year, 100 books a year, tons of books. And I always kind of wanted to do my own, but I never really, I wrote for like school. I never really wrote my own stories. And then I had a dream about my She Awakens book.
Hmm.
And I had the dream over like a few days. and it would always just restart where I left off the night before. So, and I'd never had that happen to me before. So I thought, well, I want to write a book, so I might as well write this one. It's
Mm-hmm.
already all figured out for me.
It's like you have to know what happens.
Yeah.
What happens next.
And then I decided to do indie because honestly, I don't know that I could do the rejection of going through a traditional publisher because you know you have to send out so many query letters, so many before you get anybody to be like, I suppose, but I'm not going to give you much money for it. So, I mean, might as well just do it myself. And I'm very type A personality where I'm like, I have to do everything my way, and it's my way or it's not right.
Like just jump in with both feet and
Yeah.
take
I
charge.
mean, it was a huge learning curve. Huge learning curve. Because I thought, oh, you just put your book out there and you get money. That's how it works. That's not how it works. For everyone listening, that's not how it works.
Yeah, there's a lot. Luna says book based off dreams are great.
Oh, yay.
Yeah, I love that when you're reading them, you can usually see which ones the author saw while
Mm-hmm.
they were dreaming. It's like, aha,
Yeah.
this is
Right.
so vivid. I don't know. That's how I write too. Is a lot of them are inspired by dreams, and then I'm going back with the other stuff that I'm filling in, going, how do I make this as detailed as the stuff I dreamed about?
See, I'm terrible because I get one idea and I finish it, and then I have to figure out what I'm going to write next. I feel like there's so many authors out there who have so many ideas. They're like, I don't have enough time to write all these ideas. I'm like, I hate you because I have zero ideas. I have to
Like,
figure
come
this
on,
out.
dream.
Yeah, one dream started it all, and then no more.
Yeah. Melissa asks, with an anthology, is there more pressure working within their time frame or with that kind of deadline?
I don't think so. I mean, I'm really hard on myself as is. I give myself ridiculous timelines. And it's just like, there's no way I can get it done in that time. But somehow I figure it out and I get it done. I think it's a lot of planning on my part. A lot of
Mm,
figuring out, okay, I have to get this book done by this time. And then
mm,
I have to get the other one written in this time. But it's also nice because it's not a full story. I think the max is 25,000 words. So, and I write 2,000 word chapters. So, I mean, it's not huge compared to
right.
the book I'm writing now, which is 122,000 words. I'm like, I can write that in a couple weeks.
Does the writing get faster the more books you put
Oh,
out?
oh, definitely. Definitely. The first book, I think, took me a year to write. And then
Wow.
the second book took, I think, 6 months, 4 months, 4 or 6 months. The third one took 4 months. And this one took, I think, a month and a half to write that much. But then it's like, I wrote, I feel like when I started, I wrote a lot more thorough.
Hmm.
Now I'm just trying to get things on the page and then go back and edit.
Hmm. Well, it's like we know this world, we know these characters
Right.
by book three and book four, so it's not having to reestablish all that stuff
Right.
over and
Yeah.
over, which is huge for fantasy because other genres that are like real world genres, mysteries and horrors and stuff, you don't have to go into quite the level of detail as something where you've got fae kings and horses and all those things
Right.
to come up with all the rules. Yeah, I admire fantasy and sci-fi authors so much because of all that extra. Like, not only do you have to write a book and it, be entertaining and hooking, but you also have to write that world too.
Right. Which is really hard. Because
Yeah.
there's lots of things that like you don't think about when you're writing it, and then you go back and you're like, oh, oops, well.
Oh, so you mentioned that you read a lot. Had you read indie books before you decided to go the
I had, but
self-publishing
I
route?
didn't know that they were indie books.
Oh wow! So you like got thrown into. And by the way, here's hundreds of more books for you to read
Right.
while
I
you're
mean,
supposed to be writing and editing.
I read all the ones that like were popular at the time, and then I ran out of popular books that I liked. I mean, some popular books I'm like, I hate this book. This is awful.
Mm.
But like Shadow and Bone, I hated. I didn't finish the third one.
Oh,
And I know that was a huge book and everybody loved it. I hated the Darkling. I hated the main character.
Not all books are for all people.
No, this is so true. So true. I mean, I have 1-star ratings on my book. Not all books are for everybody.
I actually really have gotten to where I appreciate the people who give the lower reviews with the text
Hmm.
because I feel like it helps readers sort of narrow in on what it is they're looking for in a book and then either help them go, oh, well, I actually really love when that happens. And so they go buy your book. Or they're like, oh, well, that one's not for me. And it saves you from having another bad review.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
it's, I don't know. That's sort of been, you're further ahead than I am with more full novels out. But I've found it to get easier as it goes along.
Yeah. Yeah. I think so too.
And you've got a lot of reviews on your books. I know if you're indie and you're watching, every review is huge to an
Oh, it's
author.
such a big deal.
But you've got over 40 reviews on She Awakens on Amazon, and most are fantastic reviews. So, how was your family when you told them, hey, I'm going to start publishing a book series?
Actually, my family was very supportive about it. I come from a long line of readers.
Oh,
Everyone in my
yay!
family reads. My great aunt was a librarian, was a head librarian. So, like when I was little, I would go to the library with her and help her put away books and stuff like that. Um, and actually, even with spicy scenes, my grandma helps me edit before it goes to the editor.
Oh, wow. Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, and even my boyfriend, he reads everything before it goes to the editor too, and he always has these great ideas and like ways to word things differently. I'm like, you should be the author, not me. But on the other hand, he always tells me that he doesn't want to read books because they don't have pictures in them.
Oh, Alice in Wonderland.
I know, right? I'm like,
Yeah.
some of them do.
Oh, if I was in charge, all books would have pictures. Yeah. If we indie authors had the money, all of our books would have pictures in them too.
Right? So expensive, so expensive.
There's some fantastic artwork, though. I was actually looking at Elise Kova's covers the other day and just thinking, wow,
I
the,
know, right? Some of
the
the covers,
and
I'm like, wow, I wish I could afford that.
well, I was actually about to say I absolutely adore your covers. When I was first scrolling through Instagram and I first found you, somebody who I knew had shared the She Awakens cover with the dagger on it, and I was like, that looks like a traditionally published book. And I was still new to you. Like I didn't realize indie authors and indie books were as big as they were until I got into Instagram. And then Bookstagram made me do it for a whole bookshelf. Uh, but seriously, did you design your own cover?
Oh God, no. Oh God, no. I am terrible with computers. Computers hate me. All programs hate me. If there's going to be a problem, I'm going to find it. No, actually, Rebecca Garcia did my covers before. She used to be a cover artist. Now she's just a full-time author. She does, I don't know if anyone knows her, but she does the Shadow Kiss series. It's another series. I can't remember what the name is though. But she did all my covers for the She Awakens series. Um, I'm so glad I found her. Now that she's retired, though, I'm like, what do I do?
The pain is real.
I know. I'm like trying to find these covers, and like all of them, all of the good quality ones are expensive. And I'm like,
Mhm.
totally worth it, but I don't have that money.
And the anthology cover is gorgeous too.
Oh my God. That was a pre made.
Wow.
Can you believe that? I
No,
thought, I
it's
was like, oh my
gorgeous.
gosh. They already had that cover by the time I came in.
Wow.
So,
There
yeah.
are some good pre-made options. So if you're an author, we won't get down into the weeds too much with this, but I do have a video on my indie author behind the scenes series about different cover options for prices starting at like 25 bucks with getcovers.com and then all the way up to like custom ones that have cost five, $600, sometimes thousands of
I was
dollars.
going to say thousands.
So yeah, I mean, there's stuff all over, but a lot of times it's finding the indie authors, freelance author or not authors, artists
Hmm.
are just as talented as a lot of the mainstream artists. So, but
Yeah.
it's sad when one retires.
Usually if you can find an author who does covers, usually
Hmm.
they're pretty reasonable. They're not crazy, crazy expensive like I did with Rebecca. I wish I could find another Rebecca.
So how did you get into like managing the writing, the publishing, the marketing, and then like we said earlier, taking care of your horses and having the day side of what you do too?
So my horses I usually do in the morning. I don't do very well in the heat, and I live in Southern California. So
Mm.
it'll get to 120 degrees here in the summertime. So in the
Woo.
morning, yeah, I'll wake up super early in the morning and go out and work my horses, do what I need to do with them, and then come back in the afternoon and just write the rest of the afternoon. Sometimes I'll write till like 10 o'clock at night. I mean, it's seriously so many hours of work. And then actually, when I first started, I was doing a lot of the marketing stuff
Mm.
every day. And
Mm.
it was cutting into my writing time so bad that I was like, I need to do something. So now I just do all of my marketing on Monday because I figure Mondays suck anyways. So
Mhm.
might as well do the painstaking stuff on Mondays. And then I schedule everything
Mhm.
for the rest of the week. So I just have to go in during the rest of the week and kind of post or kind of tweak things around, add posts that ended up I needed to post during the week, like for things that came up, like takeovers and stuff.
Yeah. So a lot of writing, a lot of marketing,
Marketing
a
is the
lot of
worst.
horseback riding when you're not
Yes.
writing.
Yes.
So the
Love
beautiful horse that's in your profile picture.
Oh, that's my mare. She's Allie. I took her I got her in college. She used to be my breakaway horse. So I used to rope. Um breakaway roping is where it's kind of like calf roping for boys, but we don't
Oh,
jump off
okay.
of our horse. We just rope the calf and the rope breaks away from the saddle.
Oh, okay.
Um I did barrels on her too. She
Wow.
she was amazing at them. I was terrible at them. I I used to be a barrel racer, not anymore.
We won't tell. It's the
No.
secret safe here.
um, so I did team roping. I also do mounted shooting. I don't do mounted shooting on her. She doesn't like it. It took me
Mm.
cracking a bunch of ribs and messing up my shoulder to figure that out, but she doesn't like it, so I don't do it with her anymore. Yeah,
Ah,
I was writing, I think, book 3 when that happened. So I have cracked ribs. I'm like laying
ooh.
down in bed and like my shoulder is kind of like held up. So I'm writing with one hand.
Oh, wow. Ouch.
Yeah, that's the not fun part of horses. But
Yeah.
yeah, I started writing when I was 12 with Olive, who's the inspiration for Raven. And I trained horses when I was in high school. I went to college, I got on the rodeo team at college, did barrels in college, then got Allie, started doing breakaway roping in college.
Mm.
Um, and then I have a horse that's in a ton of my videos. Her name's Whiskey.
Yes.
I got her, she's 4. I got her when she was like 1.5. So I've been training her and starting to ride her. I take her to the mounted shooting events and practices. Um, she doesn't care about the noise, anything. She's like,
She's like,
whatever.
who
Mom."
cares?
Yeah. She's like, as long as I get kisses, I'm good.
Oh.
And then
So
I
do
use
you?
my mom's gelding for mounted shooting. He's really good. He doesn't really care about much either.
Mm.
But he's 25, I think. I think he's 24 or 25. So he's older. So I'm going to use him until I get Whiskey riding and working, and then he'll get retired. But horses live until they're about 30, but
Hmm.
Olive is 30, 32. And
Oh, wow.
I still ride her around. I have to ride her around bareback because she's older, so her skin's really thin. So if I put a saddle on her, it kind of not tears at her skin, but kind of gives her a bump.
Hmm.
So I just ride her bareback, and she still runs around and is crazy.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. So horses, well, really, it sounds like your first love right alongside reading, and then you just married the two in your books.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love that so much. Oh. Ah.
Yeah, and I plan to like continue with the animal theme, like have all of my future characters and all of my future stories have like a companion animal with them.
Hmm. So yes, if you're watching and you love fantasy that has animal companions, such as a talking fairy horse, you can go check out Kaylin's
A
books.
snarky one. I think she's right about everything.
Uh, I don't know if Luna's still watching, but Luna, this makes me think a lot of you because I know about your sassy horse loving trope. So here's Kaylin.
Thank you.
Oh, but no, seriously, that's so amazing just to hear your family so supportive in your work. Is having somebody that work in the library get you an into the library or not really?
No. She retired like 10 years ago. I don't know, longer than that probably. So no, not at all.
Uh, oh, Luna says Scarlet. Yeah, that's who I was talking about. The horse. Um, but yeah, your books are wide though, and I know a lot of
Yes,
indie authors they jump in and they jump straight into Kindle Unlimited.
that's what I
Uh,
did at first. And it just didn't work for me. I feel
hmm,
like there's a lot more fantasy authors that are doing Kindle Unlimited now, but when I first started, there weren't very many. It was more like a romance genre thing. Um, but you get so little money for Kindle Unlimited. You get pennies on the page. So if people just get your book and then just let it sit in their
hmm.
Kindle for 6 years,
Yeah,
you you don't get any of that money.
right, right.
So, and I was a business major in college, so I'm like trying to figure out business wise. I'm like, this isn't working. Not for me. It's
Mhm.
not working.
It's really interesting. I've talked to authors on here who have KU and it's working fantastic for their books. And I'm starting to think that it's really about who your ideal readers are, too. Like I know yours is young adult, and I've seen a lot less KU reads on young adult in general. I'm sure that's not always the case, but
No, yeah, I agree completely. I think now that I'm going into NA, like new adult, I might try it again for a little while. I feel like new adult does a little bit better with KU than
mm,
young adult. I don't know what the difference is because, I mean, they kind of lap over each other a little bit. So it's
mm.
just weird that it does so much better on Kindle Unlimited.
So one question we got pre-submitted for you was what made you decide to go new adult after writing young adult for so long?
Okay, so um, young adult, I wrote as young adult because I was scared to write sex scenes. I was nervous. I thought people were going to
Yeah,
judge me
right.
or they were going to be completely terrible. So, yeah, I mean, when I kind of got over that, when I had 2 books out, I started it with like a little sex scene in book 3. Now in book 4, it's just, I just like vomited sex all over the pages. There's like 4 sex scenes in it.
So if you're watching this and you're my young adult, because I have young adult and new adult readers too. If you're watching this and you're one of the young adult readers, you got your series, the She Awakens series. And if you're watching this and you're like, I need more steam, stay tuned
Yeah,
for
stay tuned. Just hold out. It gets good, I
you know,
promise.
I feel that.
I was so nervous, so nervous. I thought everybody was going to judge me, and I was like, my family reads these. They help me edit these. Like, I
Like,
got to a
Grandma,
point where I was
sorry,
like,
Granny.
yeah, I got to a point where I was like, whatever.
You're like, Granny's been around.
Yeah,
We're
yeah.
good.
If I can surprise her, then
Oh, that's amazing. So you've got the anthology coming out in 2023.
and She
You've got
Awakens coming
book
out.
four getting ready to come out. You said likely in January, and then you're writing this new series too, the new
Ugh,
adult.
I haven't even started that series. I have it outlined roughly, roughly outlined.
It's
Um,
still in progress.
but yeah, on in my group on Facebook and in my newsletter, I had everyone vote for what they wanted me to write next. So they had the choice between like a Blood Queen, enemies to lovers book, or there was more of like a detective fantasy, like urban fantasy kind of book, and then everybody wanted the Blood Queen one, so I'm going to start with that one. Hopefully I'll get to the urban fantasy, but I'm going to start with that one. I'm excited.
Oh, yay.
Kind of got the idea from like I'm a history buff. So I've always been horribly interested and intrigued by Catherine Bathory.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know who
Yes.
that is?
Yes.
Okay. So that's who I got my inspiration from for the Blood Queen, but I want her to be good.
Oh, so a twist like a
Yes.
ooh,
She's
I
not.
love this.
Yes. So she's actually good. She's killing people, but bad people, people trying to take over her kingdom, not just murdering people for fun.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I have to read this now.
Yeah.
Melissa, yeah, I could never think of elegant words for snagging. So
That's a good one. I need to add that one. Snogging.
snogging. So yeah, a lot going on. I'm excited to see where you go. If you're watching and you'd like to see what happens with Caitlin's works, definitely give her a follow on social media or join the Facebook group.
Yes. It's Caitlin's Ride or Die on Facebook.
Ride or ride? Like
Ride. Like a
okay.
horse.
This is great. Well, thank you so much, Caitlin, for joining us today and talking about your books. This has been it's been so much fun.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. I really enjoyed it.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Again, everybody, go give Caitlin a follow and check out the She Awakens series, which is already out. I will be doing more indie author interviews in the next couple weeks, so you can subscribe to my channel if you would like to see those, or you can go check out the old ones on the playlist. The link is in the description box. Thank you so much again, Caitlin. It was so much fun.
Thank you for having me.
Take care.
Okay, take care. Bye.
Bye.